Hello, hello, people. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. This is our introduction to week 2, modules 3 and 4. So, a couple things. First of all, let's talk about what happened during the first week, especially on the discussion boards. Overall, I was pretty pleased. I have posted your grades there on Blackboards. Of course, you can monitor your grades on a real-time basis. I try to get those done in a timely fashion. Just a couple things. First, just a little bit about the way I do these. You shouldn't look at the names, but you'll see here that I go through and I mark a particular post and I give a check. If it's acceptable, I give it a little dash. If it's not what I'm looking for, you get a few dashes or a dash or two, and that translates into something less than full credit. So one thing I'm trying to get across here, not very well so far, is that the quality of posts is more important than the quantity. So make sure you're not getting those little dashes, and that will increase your chance of getting a 5. So, but every day, the deadlines, of course, people are respecting those. That's all good. Just a couple other suggestions on the discussion boards. As mentioned, I consider them gigantically important. And one thing I'm really looking for with the perfect post, it is that your post includes and clearly shows that you've read and understood the information from the text. Oftentimes, also a great post not only is covering whatever the exercise was about, but integrates information from the text, integrates information from personal experience, and brings those all together. So just to make sure that happens, my suggestion, I'm not making a full-blown requirement yet, but as it is a very strong suggestion, is to show that you've read the text and that I can easily recognize that you've read the text and are integrating that. Please cite your source. So, for example, if you're going along and you're using something from page 70 of the text, put Robbins, comma, page 70. And if I have questions about whether you're using information from the text or not and using it correctly, I can always, of course, go to Robbins page 70, review what's there, and that's a good indication that I can evaluate accurately, hopefully, whether you've read that information or using it accurately. So, bottom line, with each post you do, integrate information from the text and show you're using that information through citing that page within the text. Now, overall, as you know, you do initial posts where you're reporting out on a particular exercise, and then you're doing a follow-up post. And the same rules apply. With follow-up posts, the goal is to not just say, hey, great post, and review what the person put, but add something to the conversation. So I'm looking for a significant addition on those follow-up posts to get full credit for those. So that was the thing that was most lacking within this week's post, is those follow-up posts. So take another shot at those. If you want detailed information on how I graded your posts, please send me an email. It's the easiest way to get contact with me, and I'll give you a blow-by-blow with how I graded particular posts. And what I saw is actually deficiency within your post, or reason that I gave you a little dash rather than full credit. All right, enough about those. You'll get more information about what's the expectations of the posts, and that A players want to work with other A players, and you show that you're A players through what you're doing on the discussion boards. That's in our introductory information, and I reference a great video about Steve Jobs' management style there. So, what else do we want to talk about? Let's talk a little bit about modules 3 and 4. These are some of my favorite chapters, especially module 3. We've got some great issues here. Of course, the chapters talked about integrative issues. We're covering things like globalization, ethics, social responsibility, diversity, etc. here. I've got you checking out a presentation by one of my people I really admire out there, who's writing about and lecturing about globalization, Thomas Friedman, the New York Times columnist. So make sure you've got a chance to go through that, and that should inform your posts on the point of interest discussion board. Also, the next chapter there is decision making. Cover great things about how managers should think about making decisions, following rational approaches, bounded rationality, intuition, creativity. within managerial decision making, and also group decision making. And I've got you looking at a great film, in my view. It just came out called 12 Angry Men. It really talks about how groups can make decision making better or worse, depending on the circumstances, the roles people take within groups, the way they try to have influence within groups. Really a classic film. Take a look at that. I know it's rather lengthy. If you don't have time to see the full thing, jump around a little bit and soak up as much information you can about group decision making, augmented by 12 Angry Men. All right, so we've talked about improving discussion boards. We've talked about information for modules 3 and 4. Of course, if you have any questions about anything, email is the best way to get a hold of me. And shoot me an email, and we can use that to initiate further discussions on email or Skype or phone calls or whatever might work for you. All right, people, good start to the class. Look forward to great things this coming week.